Welcome back, Islanders, and just like yep, I'm Caroline.
I'm Andy.
To quote poet laureate Bryce, there's no moral paragon in this villa. And we gotta get into it. How are you feeling after week 2?
I thought you were going to say to quote Maya Angelou because there seems to be a Maya Angelou thing going around the villa. Have we noticed this?
Yeah.
For those who may not have noticed, for some reason, we're quoting Still I Rise by Maya Angelou around the Love Island villa. Don't bring Maya Angelou to the Love Island villa. Leave her out of it, please.
Let this woman rest. All she's done is do wonderful things for us, and somehow she's made her way to the villa, and here we are, you know? How do we... I feel like the psychosis is really settling in week 2.
Yes, the sleep deprivation, the psychosis, the insecurity, they've been fully knocked off their psychological axis.
We've had no new bombshells this week, and I'm really feeling it. I gotta say, I think, like, overall, my main complaint with this USA cast is, if you're on Love Island and you're not exploring, like, what is the point? Like, everyone has been locked in way too early. As someone who's also watching UK right now, and I gotta say, if you're not watching UK, you gotta be locking in. We've got one girl dating brothers. They also sent the boys out to a cocktail night where they had to sneak out of the villa, stand up the girls who were ready downstairs, who then find out they went to another location to meet 2 bombshells, and they got to watch them interact with the bombshells on camera. It was cinematic. It's great. I got a shout out my UK. But they've announced this week that Casa Amor is going to be screened in theaters June 22nd, which is crazy. So I'm hoping that Casa Amor is going to really shake things up, because I just think everyone is playing it way too safe, I think, as a whole.
Yeah, also, we did experience, or rather, nobody actually experienced, but there was a death. One of the executive producers passed away from a surprise medical emergency in Fiji. But boy, you couldn't tell based on the fact that things just kept clipping along. The Islanders, I'm sure, have no idea. They also don't know that the Knicks won the NBA championship. They don't know what time it is. So,
that was also, Aniya wore a Jordan Woods dress last night, and Jordan Woods tweeted about it, that she doesn't even know about the lucky bag.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is really funny.
Let's jump right into our topic, shall we?
Let's do it. Okay, our first couple on the docket, Trinity and Bryce. If they're not your favorites, what are you talking about? Like, they've got the arc of friends to lovers that we've wanted. I love the eye contact that they had during the letters that they wrote to each other. I was moved. I was moved last night. How do you feel?
I feel great. I love them. I really, really love them. I was getting, like, fully giddy watching them read. Like, overall, we'll talk about the letters challenge. Like, overall, that challenge felt like attending a wedding where, like, the couple wrote their own vows, but they shouldn't have written their own vows. Like, everyone in the crowd, when they find out that this couple wrote their own vows, they're like, oh no.
I know.
However, some of them were really sweet and really good, and Trinity and Bryce's were so sweet to each other. The fact that they're, like, taking it slowly and, like, overall not letting, like, the pressure of what's going on with the other couples influence them. I will say we did have, like, you know, a little slip up, mostly caused by Zach. Zach is a little drama queen. He's a shit starter. Like, he's literally just telling...
Producer plant. I don't know. We'll get more into Zach, and I think the frustrations with him in a minute.
They've been tested a little bit in that regard, but I don't know. I don't have a whole lot to say about them. I think they're really cute. I'm rooting for them.
But I think then that leads us naturally into Zach and Kayda. The main thing with them is that the Hideaway was open this week, and to all of our dismay, they were chosen by everyone else in the villa for the Hideaway.
That was a very informal vote. They just all shouted out Zach and Kayda. I don't know, a lot of the language in the villa is that Zach and Kayda are, like, the gold standard. Doesn't even seem like they're that into each other, to be honest. Zach, every 5 minutes, at every turn, is like, Kayda, I really like you, I definitely want to be with you, totally want to focus on you, absolutely want to have sex with you, but, like, would you be okay if I look the other direction as soon as new bombshells come? Like, he, like, any opportunity he has to remind Kayda that, like, his head might be turned, he takes it.
He's got the, like, thing where he love bombed her in the beginning.
Yes.
And did that, like, week 1, which is, like, this is the, like, textbook tactics that most men use, and especially on dating apps these days. They think they've got this gorgeous woman, But they always think there's something better. There's always a greener pasture. And I knew this would happen the minute he had sex with her. If I didn't have the ick already, but he had been testing the thought about, like, if a bombshell came in, if he got tested. But then him asking that, like, not minutes, it's probably seconds, it felt like, after they finished having sex. Jail, electric chair, put him on death row. Like, that is foul behavior. I hope what we need is, in Casa Amor, a bombshell that is Kayda's type, because Zach deserves nothing. He deserves to see her walking around the villa with another man, because she's gorgeous. 10 out of 10. And also, I'll say his letter to her was so nothing. It was so transactional. There was nothing in there that was, like, actually about their connection. So I hope Kayda, I just want her to have one eye open, because I think she's lost some of her baddiness because she's gotten secure and is now a little anxious with Zach. And he's, like, removed that from her a bit. So I hope that in week 3, Kayda is remembering the baddie that she is, the 10 out of 10 from New Hampshire. Yeah, and anything else we got on Zach and Kayda? That was kind of the...
No, I just don't think they're that strong a couple. Little old me watching Love Island for the first time, still scandalized by, like, every once in a while we, like, vote for the couple who gets to go have sex, and then we do, like, a little dance and cheer while they're on their way to the sex room. Like, it's both,
great.
like... It's, like, both fun, but I also, like, sit there the whole time being like, is this really happening? Am I really watching this?
I will say also, I was cackling at the sex room because it looks like the room when I would make my Sims have sex. It looks like that bed, and, like, then there's normally the polar bear rug where you make them do the purr sound at each other. Because I was 13, and that's, like, how the most way that I, like, figured out sex more than, like, a conversation with my mother.
Yeah.
So was making my Sims go. There was also the dressing room you could make them have sex in. Figure that out very quickly on the Sims vacation package. Moving on to Jen, Gabe, and the end of Bea. So where we left our recap last week, we had discussed our votes where we were pairing the new bombshells with people in the villa. And Gabe was paired with Jen, which meant that Bea left the villa. And I miss her presence.
Same.
A lot, but it was interesting to see her on After Sun with Sierra and Teffy, where they got their phones back, and she found out that everyone thought she was a lesbian, and she was like, I'm a tomboy. But I have to say, Jen and Gabe have a better connection than I was expecting. They
do. Like, I miss Bea. She had, like, a really just good overall presence. Sort of as, like, the den mother of the women, like, keeping them in check, and, like, she was, like, everybody's best friend. So that being said, though, I think it is for the best that she left, because, like, Jen and Gabe do make a lot more sense. I will say, I think either one of them could easily have their head turned by a new bombshell, because, like, Gabe gets to know people by, like, tonguing them down, so he will need to kiss the next bombshell he sees. But yeah, I was surprised. They do seem to really like each other. I feel like we're seeing a different side of Gabe, or at least maybe just the way it was edited. They kind of either edited it to make it seem like this, or it really was like this. It seemed like he and Bea were more friends than they were actually interested in each other.
And they had a really lovely goodbye together where they spoke in Spanish to each other. And I think that's where I think maybe I think we were kind of saying last week, a lot of the hang-ups with Gabe are that English is not his first language. But I do love that Jen seems to be open. I have to say, I was moved by their letters. I was too. The line that he said, he was like, I can't figure out if your eyes are hazel or green, because whenever I get distracted, I want to kiss you. I was like, Gabe, I was like, this was just, like, a nice, like, window into his soul. It's like, yeah, of course he wants to have sex with people, but there's a little ooey gooey to Gabe, and although them outrightly having sex, like, the shot of his underwear at the end of the bed that night that they were all having sex.
I'm never, ever,
Season 5, Love Island UK, we're back, baby, we're so back, everyone having sex in the main room, it's great.
I think it's so gross. I think it's so gross. Also, like, you can't rightly judge whether or not you have good sex with somebody if you have to have it in that setting, you know what I mean? Because you have to be quiet, you probably can't move as much as you would, like, I don't know, it would just, like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like a good example of what sex with that person would be like. Also, like, I just can't get over how close you are to other people. I like when Bryce in the morning was like, all you could hear was like, and I was like,
I mean, I think it's like going back to your dorm a little bit. Like when you would have to like hook up and like your roommate or someone else is in there. It's just, you got to go back to, you know, when you were 18, 19, you didn't have a lot of options. Unfortunately, yeah.
I wonder if they like blast white noise in that room to keep each other from having to like hear each other doing stuff. Like I would just...
Probably not. I mean, for production's like, no, you have to hear every little slurp. You got to hear every little nook and cranny.
God. Yeah, so everybody seems to be doing some stuff.
But it was sad to see Bea go. I hope we see more from her just like outside the villa because she's just like a great presence. So I'm curious to kind of see what her career path is next. And next is Kenzie and Caleb. They were paired in the vote, which like made sense because as she said, she's wanted a cowboy. This is the type of guy. He's also from Georgia. But as we've heard over and over again, she's never had two connections before. This girl's never had two connections before.
Oh my God.
So she's like talking with Caleb and then she's talking with Corbin. And I think there's been a lot of internet chatter this week sort of discussing how she talks and handles Black people in the villa, I think is like a very interesting layer because especially you kind of see, especially when we see her talking to Caleb versus Corbin.
Yeah.
Caleb, it seems like she talks a lot more about his normal life and everything about Corbin is like, I'm so attracted to you, I want you. There's no like further exploration of that.
Yes. There's, again, and some of this could be editing, but I doubt it fully. Yeah, she's fetishizing Corbin. Yeah, and on the one end, it's like I'm glad that she is exploring somebody who's maybe different from somebody she like would have dated in the real world, but there is a fetishizing element to him of like, yeah, what they talk about, the language she uses, how she talks to him versus Caleb. Yeah, it was just interesting. I did not realize like how close Kenzie and Corbin had gotten in the limited amount of time because they also kind of got together a little bit by default.
By close, I think you mean they had
she got some finger blasted goldfish from Corbin.
Yeah. Just yeah.
Like she saw those big hands and she was like, I don't know if I'm comfortable having like full sex in the same room with these people.
I saw those big hands and
and
I think like another thing I've clocked, she's only talking to Jen, it feels like. And Saul, I feel like she talks to, because she and Melanie were allegedly best friends.
Right.
And they had this secret kiss, which I'm sure that's going to come back at movie night that they kissed. And there's a lot from this week that I think needs to show up at movie night for them to sort of have further discussions about things in the villa.
I will say, like, Kenzie moving from being insecure for the first time in her life because she had to experience rejection for the first time in her life, she seems to be fully stepping into, like, being kind of who she is, which I think is a little bit of a mean girl. You know what I mean? Because, like, it was kind of like, I realized that Melanie complicated things for her by being officially in a pair with Corbin, but like, yeah, that friendship got dropped pretty fast. It's weird. Like we got another like white blonde lady and all of a sudden like she's your main confidant. And now we don't care about being like honest and transparent with Caleb or being honest and transparent with Melanie. She's entering like a mean girl phase that is unfortunate.
And Caleb, like, you know, Godspeed, they're trying to tell him that you should talk to other girls, but again, no one's exploring. Again, I'm curious to see if there's like other girls that Caleb likes in Casa Amor. I'm hoping for his sake.
Yeah.
We'll see. But I feel like there's like not really much else to say about Kenzie and Caleb.
No, she was really kind of just faking it. It's sort of amazing. It's amazing how much you get to watch people lie on the show, mostly out of not wanting to hurt another person's feelings. But I don't know. I feel like watching the show reminds me, like, I don't know, people are not that honest. Like, myself included. I've done a lot of white lying in my life to spare other people's feelings. But it's crazy to watch it in real time and be like, oh boy, like, these people can't be trusted. Like, they're talking out of both sides of their mouth constantly, knowing all the while that they're being filmed, but that still doesn't make them more honest.
They mentioned this. There's 85 cameras in the villa, which is like crazy to know that like that's the. It's just, that's why I think this show is so interesting, because it just, I don't know, it brings up a lot of great psychological sort of things to think about, and like morally, like how you react to things. It's and what you see in your relationships. I don't know. That's why I think people discount it as a show as just like hot people making out in bikinis, but I think there are other layers to it if you really let yourself have a chance with it. But I think it's time to boot up Melanie and Corbin, our favorite AI Islander ladies. We're doing our Corbin impression.
It's very ladies. It's very funny to me that they're making the same jokes about Corbin on the island, while like everybody, there's a million memes online about Corbin being a robot, Corbin being a chatbot, and being AI. And it's funny, we saw a moment in the villa where like Corbin's like looking off into like the middle distance, and all the guys are like, Corbin's rebooting. So like they also feel that way about him.
Well, some people said that because Zach said that they're like, oh, that's another evidence of him being a producer plant, because it's like, how does he know that joke's being made? Zach, I've got both eyes on you.
Yeah.
But Melanie and Corbin were paired together when they were left alone after America paired the bombshells with their new couples. And Melanie only slept with Corbin for one night. She slept outside in soul ties because the first night she was so upset and couldn't see Saul and Sincere together. The second night it was because Kenzie and Corbin, she thought they kissed each other. Everyone thought they had kissed on the dock. Everyone saw it incorrectly. But also, the way that they were sat on the dock, I would also think that they had kissed.
Yeah. And also, like,
the way that they were angled.
The specifics that they didn't kiss in that time, like, kind of don't matter.
Right.
Because, like, they came very close to kissing, and they've been hooking up. So, like, I don't know. It's funny the way that people on this show are like, no, in that specific moment, we had not kissed. We spent the entire conversation talking about how we wanted to kiss, and we came very close to kissing, and we've been kissing every other time we talk. But that time, you're wrong. We didn't. It's like, it doesn't really matter.
No, it's just like litigating like the gray area. It's so crazy, but it's funny. I saw a lot of people online who really did like the two of them together. They had some like good conversations, but I knew the entire time, like, she's not really into this man. She's just waiting for her window with Sincere. We all knew it. We all saw it. We all knew what was happening.
It is interesting how much Melanie seemed to calm down, though. Like, I know that she was really going through it. She was trying to sort of like self-regulate by sleeping in soul ties, but like, amazing how in the last couple episodes when she and Sincere aren't together, all of a sudden, like, she is not making her drama everyone's problem in the villa. I don't know. Maybe that's evidence that Mel and Sincere, like, shouldn't be together because they're pretty fucking toxic for each other. Because she really, I don't know. The energy in the villa seemed to allow more room for other things to happen when those two are not paired up. I mean, like, you could say that her sleeping in soul ties is her being attention-seeking and dramatic, which I'm sure was part of it. I did see another take online from a therapist that's like, she's just trying to like self-regulate, and I'm like, yeah, it is wild that they don't have like a sensory panic room for these people.
They need a sensory room.
They really need a sensory room for these people. Like, they need some soft surfaces, some like soothing music, some blankets, like, but they don't want that. They don't want these people.
No
so,
chaos.
Yeah, exactly. They want these people to be permanently dysregulated.
Which I think leads naturally into Sincere and Soul. Okay, talking out of both sides of your mouth, Sincere. You will be tried in court at movie night. The way he was lying to Soul, the way that he was lying to Melanie about talking to both of them was so infuriating. Like, no wonder these women were going crazy, because you were just telling them what you wanted to hear instead of actually telling the truth.
It's true. He's such a liar, and you can tell that, like, he's never been in a situation in his life where he couldn't, like, use his words and get out of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I think movie night is really going to slap him in the face because you can tell that this man is a seasoned liar. I don't know if this is because he's an eldest sibling or what, but he is really, really good at gauging what it is the person across from him needs to hear in order to make the conflict go away. And he will say it, even if it is the exact opposite. And like, he believes what he's saying in the moment. Like, this man is a seasoned liar, and I don't think he's ever been able to be taken to task in the way he's about to be taken to task. I don't know, and I'm curious to see what his response is going to be when he watches himself saying two different things to two different people. Like, I'm curious if he will double down into it, because I don't know, he doesn't seem like someone who's ever been held responsible in that way. I especially feel bad for Soul because of the way things worked out, because like, Soul is so freaking hot, but on top of that, incredibly self-possessed, incredibly cool person. Yeah. Like, very, very interesting. But unfortunately, we haven't really gotten a chance to really get to know her because, again, everybody's been so closed off.
I'm also frustrated with her. It just feels like she's sort of being treated as this, like, fetishized object in the villa.
Yeah.
As a source of conflict in multiple couples. We're about to get to Casey and Aniya in a second. But it just kind of seems like over and over again, she's sort of being used as this object that men are like, oh, she's beautiful, she's stunning. But then they don't want to actually really engage with her, and they use her as a way to, like, get back at their couple. And that really sucks. That just sucks for her as a person. So I'm really hoping, God, she deserves, like, the hottest men in Casa Amor. I really hope that there's someone that's her type. I appreciate her saying that every time, that she's like, I've not been able to explore really because everyone has been so closed off, which the way that they introduce the bombshells in UK, I really appreciate. They tend to bring them to a separate location, whether it's on a date or they're at a club. So they're able to actually talk to the bombshells without the other couples watching.
Yeah.
So it allows you to have a, like, actual introduction to the villa versus this where it's like, how are you supposed to get to know anyone when the other person you're with is looking on the entire time?
Yeah, no, they're treating Soul like she's like this, like, siren homewrecker instead of, like, viewing her as a whole person who has as much right to make connections as anybody else does. I'll be curious to see, because, like, the person for Soul is probably somebody who doesn't have, like, an current entanglement. So, like, somebody in Casa Amor, it's going to make some of these guys who missed their chance with her feel some type of way.
Make them feel they were SOL.
I got it. Well done.
Oh, thank you. I've been watching Sincere too much. And then our final couple that's probably been in the trickiest mud this week, Casey and Aniya, who we've said have been on pretty solid footing before this, but we find out and explore a little bit more that from the bed challenge last week, Casey had expressed interest in Soul, but went nowhere with it. And this came out in the pie challenge, of course, because of producer in the cast, Zach, really wanted to bring this to light. And Aniya was upset about this because she's like, wait, am I just your second choice? Like, what am I supposed to think about this? I don't know. What did you think and feel about this whole situation?
I mean, Zach, fuck you. You are causing drama. His speech on, like, why he chose KC in that challenge was like, I don't know. Again, could be editing, but it was a lot of, like, very specific information. Yeah, he just caused a bunch of drama. I feel like they're freaking out for kind of no reason. Like, Aniya's just feeling really insecure, and Casey is not doing a good job of making her feel insecure. What I'm observing is two people who handle conflict very, very differently. And Casey even said this in his letter, like, you know, the way he grew up is to sort of, like, joke around and make light of certain situations in order to survive. And I have had these interactions with significant others where, like, you just can't get on the same page. You're literally, the people watching are like, you're literally on the same page saying the same thing, but you're approaching it in a way that is not giving this person any reassurance. Like, Aniya literally just wanted to hear reassurance, and Casey, like, didn't understand that that was what she wanted. And he's rightfully also getting annoyed because Aniya kind of keeps dredging up the same stuff and not taking him at his word.
Right.
Aniya keeps saying, like, he could explore if he wanted to. He's not locked in, whatever. And it's like, I don't know that she really means that. And I think Casey knows that she doesn't really mean that. Also, him calling her grandma
grandma for not wanting to be sexual 2 weeks into knowing someone is crazy. That's where again, movie night. If we don't get movie night, I'm going to be pissed off because we didn't get it in season 7. She needs to hear that comment, because if that's how you really feel, then Aniya, you need to be exploring in Casa Amor. I want you to be talking to other men, because if that's ultimately KC's true colors, then this is not going to work outside the villa.
I mean, I think he was referring to the fact that she just falls asleep.
He expanded on it, though.
Yeah,
I lingered on that. Yeah, so I don't know. I can't really defend that comment in any way.
I don't know. Complaining that somebody who you just met 2 weeks ago doesn't want to give you a hand job in public.
Yeah.
Essentially, in front of all these other people in the room and in front of all of America, that is a big red flag. That's a big, big, big red flag. And again, I don't know. I'm not saying that, foreplay and hand stuff isn't important, but, you can't forego it given the circumstances.
I know. And I just want the world for Aniya. Also hearing in her letter that, because also we discussed how her dad's in the NBA and her mom's a shoe designer, and knowing that probably her previous dating experience, that a lot of men were pursuing her because of that. So this is her one chance where she thinks that a guy is liking her as she is, and to find this out, that just sucks. It just really, it's hard putting yourself out there and not knowing the risk that you're taking and hoping for the best, but finding out that this is the stuff that they're saying behind closed doors. It's tough. I think that's all of our couples for the week. We gotta move on to some other silly stuff that happened, random bits. I have been stuck on Sincere not knowing how to make scrambled eggs for days. I just don't understand. It's really not that hard to make scrambled eggs.
I am less concerned about the fact that Sincere doesn't know how to make scrambled eggs, and I'm more concerned with the fact that these women don't want better for themselves than a man who doesn't know how to make scrambled eggs. I'm
but also these are the options they've got.
This is what they've got. I know. Yeah. I'm y'all want better for yourselves. I'm a horrible cook. Okay, I'm not saying that people should be counted out for being a horrible cook. Yeah. I am saying that if you make it into your 20s and don't know how to make scrambled eggs, I don't think that women should be fighting over you.
Well, it's just they signed up for Love Island, not a project management course. And as someone who's graduated from multiple project management courses, I want more for them. You don't need to be teaching these men how to do these things, but if anything, hopefully maybe Sincere knows how to make eggs. By the end of the 6 weeks, he can make a nice scrambled egg. But he could have just watched a 3-minute YouTube video. You got to know how to make eggs. You got to know how to make avocado toast in a smoothie. That's it.
Yeah. I don't know. That just cues to me, I would get the ick in real time if I found out a guy didn't know how to make scrambled eggs. Because that to me is you don't know how to do your laundry. You don't know how to wash your own underwear.
No. Correct.
You don't know how to wash your, I know that about you now, and I don't want to live with you.
Because they're looking for a mother.
Oh my God. Kenzie and that headscarf. She came out of the glam room looking like one of the sisters in Fiddler on the Roof. I understood the look that she was going for, but the look that she was giving was Seidel from Fiddler on the Roof.
Yeah.
Matchmaker, let me get finger banged.
It's, and I appreciate that we're taking some fashion choices, but it was hilarious. I do appreciate also Trinity really not giving any shit to Zach this week more and more. We saw she yelled at him to get out of bed when he was in bed with Bryce. Also, when they talked about after the challenge, Trinity, when they said about the couple have been playing it safe, where Zach made the controversial KC and Aniya comment, she's like, I would have said you. So I'm really preparing myself that Trinity's going to let loose on Zach at movie night, and I personally cannot wait, because you can tell she's doing the thing where you're dating a guy but you're tolerating his best friend.
Correct.
You hate them, you hate their guts, but you know that you unfortunately are stuck double dating them, and you have to play the nice game, but eventually your time will come where you don't have to be around them.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say is I'm noticing that the girls are starting to share clothes. I can tell that they're repeating outfits that other of them already wore. And that just, I don't know. I love that.
That's summer camp.
Yeah, exactly. That sparked joy in my heart
Yeah.
because there was a lot of summer camp being like, I hate all of my clothes. And then you have like endless closet options because like everybody's sharing. So it made me happy to see like Kayda was clearly wearing a dress that like she had borrowed from Kenzie. I was like, oh, they're sharing clothes. Yay.
And I love Trinity and Kayda are probably like my power besties of the villa. I really love the two of them. They have great commentary. I every time they're together. I also loved watching all the girls watch the boys work out and say it was their favorite channel, and them all lining up on the beanbags as they were doing pull-ups. That was really fun. That was like, these are the things I'm like, I want to see them taking the piss out of this stuff a little bit more and just getting to see these little odds and ends of these moments. But,
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but it's been fun. But that leads us into the Pie and Smooch challenge where my girl Sierra got to have an entrance that, God, I love her so much. I'm still on my personal campaign getting her to 2 million followers. We are stuck at 1 million followers on Instagram. She deserves the world, especially as this episode was airing in timing with part 3 of the Summer House reunion and before the Summer House aftermath. That was really a nothing burger. But Sierra, I loved the dig she got to have on camera about not sleeping with your best friend's ex. And also I really, really, really loved Kayda being a #1 Summer House fan. And that was really, for me, that's how that locked in Kayda as like my #1. But her and Teffy, who they are co-hosting the After Sun together on Saturdays, were brought in for the Pie and Smooch challenge, where they came in and gave them messy questions where the boys and the girls would each huddle separately to decide who from the other side was the best answer for the challenge. If it was a sweet question, they got to go give the person a kiss. If it was a nasty question, they got to give them a pie in the face. And this caused a lot of tension, understandably, in the villa.
It did. I mean, I think the main thing that happened is we see these guys are basically slut-shaming Soul in order to absolve themselves. Soul and Jen really, but mostly Soul, coming in caused a lot of uneasiness and tension because the guys all found her attractive, but most of them did not actually pursue anything, but it still caused tension, like between KC and Aniya. And so the men, in order to absolve themselves of the fact that like they were attracted to this woman, they're basically performing like, look, this is how much we don't like her. We're sort of gonna like target her as like the home wrecker who came in. A lot of people were saying this online, like she didn't start crying because of 1 or 2 pies. Like it's very clear that there was stuff edited out where like they probably kept pieing Soul anytime there was a question about, you know, someone coming in, a woman coming in and like tempting all of the men. So like, I just think it's gross. I think it's gross. Like you are putting all of your anxieties about the fact that you're attracted to this woman and it's like posing a threat to your couple unnecessarily onto the woman who all she did was walk into the villa and be super fucking hot and cool.
Yeah, and I think obviously we saw there was probably a chunk edited out that we didn't get to see like what led to a lot of this. So I don't know. I hate these challenges where it feels like they highlight the men getting to talk nastily about the women. I just don't like when that happens. But I think that was sort of the big standout of that challenge. Then moving on to Zach's weirdness. So initially this starts with him making comments about how to Bryce that he thinks Trinity is not that into him.
I don't know where the fuck he got that from.
It's interesting to me to see the pattern of him making the comment about Trinity. Then it's the comments about Aniya. And then these weird comments to Kayda and his couple. It's like, what are these weird comments you're making about black women, specifically in the villa? There's something there. I don't know. It's probably not conscious, but I don't know. I really hate how he's talking about them specifically because you don't hear him making these comments about Kenzie. You don't hear him making these comments about Jen. So it feels very sort of specific. Trinity is the only one who's pointing out this weird behavior, I think, right now, and no one else is listening to her. So I just hope that we get to see this highlighted in movie night. There needs to be a clip package that's like, they tend to make them after movie titles, so I'm trying to think what it's going to be, like 10 Things I Hate About Zach. Maybe that's something that would be like a fun. They do like How to Lose like a something in 10. They'll like because they'll have movie titles to pick from. So that's my pitch is 10 Things I Hate About Zach, because I just think there's a lot here that people, I think, are maybe excusing for his British accent. They're just like, oh, he's a cute, fun guy because he's British.
He's messy.
He's nasty.
He's nasty and messy, even in his own couple. And, like, why is he trying to sabotage his best friend's connection? What was funny about that is he was really pissed that Bryce pulled Kayda for a chat. And I was like, that was kind of your fault. You told... You know the circumstances of the game, and you told your best friend that his strongest and really only connection probably wasn't that into him. That set off this whole, like, horrible domino of events that then negatively affected you, brother. Like, I don't know. I don't like him. He's nasty and he's messy. He's a drama queen, and he's, like, the worst kind of drama queen. Like, I love a drama queen who will admit to it. Yeah. He will not. Yeah, I don't like him.
No. And you can also see Bryce getting the ick from him, too, now. Like, you can see he's pulling away a bit. I gotta say, I'm not having fun with their heated rivalry romance anymore because I've got the ick on Zach.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
I hope their days are numbered. And then finally, we had the 2 last challenges. We had the crazy hot dog challenge that, again, Love Island producers, I love you. I respect you for your work. We gotta do less food challenges. We don't need to see them deep throating hot dogs.
No, and they didn't even eat them. They spit them out and, like, I don't know. And then they were all like had like dried slime on them for the rest of the day while they're like doing interviews. That challenge was just gross, and there was no reason. There was no winner. And it went on forever. I was like, all right, we get it.
I have to say, I've not seen like an official outdoor shower in the villa, and I would like to see, like, why don't we have multiple outdoor showers? That seems like a no-brainer. Less foods, thumbs down from us. I could barely stomach it. And then our final challenge was last night they had a recoupling where they had to write letters to the person that they wanted to recouple with, and they had these giant mailboxes for each of them to find out if they received a letter or not. If you received more than one, you would find out then who you were coupled up with based off of who you sent the other letter to. And this reminded me of my worst nightmare in high school, where there were those paid Valentines that your crush could send you, or when you would have the Valentine boxes like in school, and if you did or didn't receive one, I was like, this activated a deep insecurity in me that I was like, I don't ever want to encounter this again in my life, because it's the worst nightmare of finding out, oh God, I sent one to my crush and they didn't send one in response. Everyone's gonna actually watch this and see that, so I have to experience this failure in real time.
I hear you. I as I said before, it just felt like being at a wedding with like way too many toasts, way too many self-written vows. Making these people like write by hand. I did go back and then like watch when they were writing the letters, because obviously the points of contention mostly were like what was going to happen with Corbin and Kenzie. Kenzie does not look stressed at all writing her letter. Everybody else is sort of like, what am I going to write? Who am I going to write to? She sat right down and just started like, she was just like this, like kicking her legs behind her. Like she didn't think twice about that. She knew she was writing to Corbin. It was really sweet to see some of these letters get read to each other. I honestly was like, did a producer come in and like edit these, because they seemed to be more well written than I was expecting.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Caleb said he used to write letters to his girlfriend, which I was like, of course he did. That is a lover boy who I know has serenaded a girl with a Tim McGraw song on his guitar. Like, I know that has happened, will happen again. I'm hoping for Caleb that he gets some Southern Belle lover girl, like, comes in, like a sweet, just like Southern Baptist diva that comes in, because that's like the energy that he needs. He just wants to take care of his little woman. Yeah. But of course his letter, I was like, he had like the best written letter, I think, of them. I was like, oh, he had like he had adjectives that he was using. Saul's letter, I think, rhymed.
It did. It was a poem. I went back and forth. I was like, oh no, it's a poem. Then I was like, no, Sincere's just reading it like it's a poem. No, it is a poem. And then I was like, no, he's just reading it like it's a poem. Like, I couldn't tell at first. I know, that reminded me of it was the big thing, I don't know if it still is, but like when I was getting bat mitzvahed, it was the big thing that like when you did like your candle lighting, every time someone would come up to read a candle, you would be like, Mom and Dad, you're always the best. You calm me down when I get stressed. I can't wait for what's in store. So please come up and light candle number 4. Like, that's what that reminded me of. I also was like, ooh, next to Melanie's letter, which is like literally her just like spilling her guts on the page. I was like, poor soul. You thought this would be fun and cute, but it really didn't work.
No, because also right before the letter vote, Melanie and Sincere had this, emotional conversation about how they missed each other, which we all knew where this was going. There was no way that Melanie was writing a letter for Corbin. The usual suspects paired up. Trinity and Bryce each had letters for each other. Zach and Kayda had letters for each other in their mailbox. Jen and Gabe had letters for each other in their mailbox. And then the last 3 couples were the ones who were questioned. Oh, no, yeah, because we didn't know if KC and Aniya were going to leave letters for each other. They ended up, thank goodness. Then we found out that both Corbin and Caleb wrote letters for Kenzie. No one wrote letters for Saul or Caleb. And Melanie and Sincere wrote letters for each other.
And then at the end, you have Saul and Caleb left over, and Ariana Madix really went, so now, you guys?
Which, because basically, thank God we know that Casa Amor is on the horizon, because this is only going to last like 3 days without any bombshells. Again, we're in a bombshell drought. I need bombshell. This energy was very stagnant this week. But we were left at the end of the episode with a vote for our favorite couple. I have seen a lot of people voting for Saul and Caleb, which is like valid because they should get to stick around because they've not really had any connections.
Sure.
Because basically, probably what's going to happen is the couple with the least amount of votes are going to be vulnerable.
Honestly, I would prefer Saul and Caleb to stay over Melanie and Sincere. I mean, I would kind of want to keep Kayda, but I would honestly prefer them to stay over Zach and Kayda just to get rid of Zach. So like maybe like it would be a bummer if the 2 of them came in as bombshells, didn't really get a fair shake at connections, and then get voted out. So like we'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, I voted for Trinity and Bryce because I love them.
Because we love Trinity in this house. They're our couple for this. They are the Nicolandria of this season. We love them. But I think that's basically everything for week 2.
Yep.
I'm curious to see how the vote is going to go Thursday night. We'll see. We will be back because Casa Amor Monday night will be recording after Casa Amor. So excited to see what bombshells come in. Let us know in the comments how you're feeling about the season. Again, we are on Instagram and TikTok. You can let us know more there about what you're thinking and feeling. We've got some exciting Sex and the City recaps on the horizon, but we've made it 1/3 of the way through Love Island. So we'll see everybody again soon. All right, bye everybody.
Bye-bye.